This week, Drew and I discuss. It's been 3 weeks. I can't freaking do it. This week, episode 317 of Stogie Geeks, Drew and I discuss cigar gifts that we've kind of always wanted, but never really went out there and purchased for whatever reasons. You know I have stories to back that up for sure. Or what the title should be, what to gift someone who is really into premium cigars. Stogie Geeks, I want to hear from you. What did you get for Christmas in regards to cigars? Maybe, hopefully, there was some good gifts underneath the tree. Also, in our second segment, the Stogie of the Week is a Plasencia Alma del Campo. We're going to have our thoughts and notes and taste testings and experiences on that. I'm enjoying one right now, again. And towards the end of the show, we're going to discuss what we've been smoking over this break. Drew and I want to wish you a Happy New Year. It's Stogie Geeks, episode 317, starts right now.
This is a Security Weekly production. Broadcasting live from G-Unit Studios in Rhode Island, it's the show where cigars burn slow, ashes fall fast, and cocktails flow steady. It's the Stogie Geek Show. Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geek Show. Joe and I are already silly.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Hozempa, a.k.a. Joe Hollywood, is here with me in studio.
I'm fired up.
Havana Cigar Club, located in Warwick, Rhode Island, is a great place to enjoy a drink and a cigar. Stogie Geeks listeners can find a $5 off coupon on our website by clicking the HCC logo.
Confidence. Confidence isn't walking into a room with your nose in the air, thinking you're better than anyone else. It's walking into a room and not having to compare yourself to anyone in the first place.
Happy New Year, Stogie Geeks. This is episode 317. I am your host, Joe Hozempa. I am joined by the little brown-haired kid from Texas, Mr. Drew, the band man. What's going on?
Nothing much. Trying to survive out here. We got some tornado weather. We got inclement weather. We got flood flash warnings. We got power lines coming down. So it's going to get rougher here in the next 6 hours, these days.
What the hell is going on over there? Is that normal this time of year?
Yeah, it's Texas, you know. Wait 15 minutes and the weather will change.
That's just like us.
Yeah, and then it'll get back to thunderstorm and showers and snow and whatever else it decides. So, yep.
Yeah, my jabroni friends are texting me saying, hey, it's going to be 62 degrees. We should golf. And I'm like, it's soup out there, bro. It's like going to be still wet. It's 62 for one day. Like, you know what I mean? I'm good. Right. Golf clubs are still in my living room beside my Christmas tree. And I'm taking that down this weekend. I'm super excited. I did take down the decorations in front of the house, but now it's time to get my living room back in order so my kid can have more toy space to just toys for me to step on and put together. You know? How is
we got the
what?
I was gonna say we got the inside undecorated. We haven't got the outside, which is my job, which I haven't got to yet.
Yeah.
So I haven't got the ultimatum yet, so I think I'm okay for another week.
I don't know. Everything's just it goes by too fast. We've had a couple weeks off with Christmas and New Year's break. Yes. We did our predictions. We're gonna hopefully see through technology towards the end of the year, maybe third quarter or something like that. The boys can splice some video up and see how close we came to our predictions.
Right.
Well, it was predictions on your part and more of a rant on my part there. I just got a text. And I'm really just don't want to talk about this, but I just think it's provocatively fascinating is the word I want to go with, because Paul Azadorian and myself have been saying this since 2017 that I know of there. Altidus, Davidoff, Drew Estate, in general, have officially announced that they are not exhibiting at PCA. And I just, it's all over FB. You know how a bunch of people share it and all of that stuff. And I don't want to spend at all any time talking about it other than I'll give you a sentence because I have 20, but I'm not going to talk about it. I promise. I'm going to leave the sentence up to you, and we're going to get on with today's episode. Do you have a sentence?
Do I have I'm sorry.
A sentence to say about that.
I'm sorry.
Only a sentence. That's it. I'm not talking about it.
The sentence is, it's not surprising. I mean, especially at the end of last year, and once they decided to announce that they were going to change it to whatever.
Sure.
So the disorganization, I think, really showed and honed throughout the latter of last year. So that's pretty much it.
Super cool. Moving on, Drew. This week we are going to talk about cigar gifts that we've always wanted. So, Drew, and you have to think about that as well. And I have a list and stories, of course. Or we can say, if you have someone who's into premium cigars, you got Valentine's Day, Father's Day, I Appreciate You Day. You know what I mean? I love random gifts. Doesn't have to be cigar related. I love when it's like nobody's birthday, nobody's nothing, and then you just get like a random gift stick. It's super cool. Sure. I got a couple of Christmas gifts underneath the tree that was cigar related. I was pleased with Caden's efforts to talk to Santa over his mom. So super cool about that. I guess It worked when we went to Santa's village. So look what I got, Drew. I got to start with this thing. This here, where am I? I can't see the camera. This isn't working. All right, yeah. So this is like a wedgie cup, I think.
Yeah. And
you put your cigar here, but it holds it, right? You know what I mean? And then you can take a sip over here like that.
Nice.
And I have watched Pulse Security Weekly yesterday, and they were drinking gin and tonics, and I was like, damn, gin and tonic and cigar, that'd be so different. And that's what I'm doing right now, a gin and tonic.
Nice. I'm not smoking anything. All I can do right now is drink because I'm inside the house.
Yeah, you have a tight schedule. I get that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. But next week I'll be at a cigar lounge, and I'll be able to spark up again. So.
And next week, if the internet gods work and the prep call works and the agency works, we get to interview Nestor Placencia on Stogie Geeks. He's slated to interview, so Stogie Geeks definitely want to stay tuned for that. I've had the opportunity to interview him here on Stogie Geeks. He's coming back. I love it when guests come back because we dig a little deeper into the super cool world of getting to interview the people in this crazy industry that we call the premium cigar industry. So, speaking of craziness, Christmas, New Year's, did you get any super cool cigar gifts or anything like that?
I did indeed. So I got me one of these, and I don't have it here. It's in the other room. It's a poker. So the poker, you put it on the side of the cigar, I guess, so you can smoke it down to truly past nub point. So you burn your fingers. But I caution that because you could still burn your lips, which I've done a couple times with some of the cigars that I want to enjoy further and beyond the nub point.
Wait a second. I apologize. I haven't done Stogie Geeks in like 2 weeks. I was way off. First of all, I was looking for the cough button, and I found it after I coughed. So that was like a wicked delay right there. Right? What did you get? A poker that burns close to your lips?
No. It's a cigar stick. So you put it at the end. So when you get down to the nub, and sometimes you got to cut it in.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So that you don't have to burn your, try to pinch it and put your lips, to the to take a draw. You put this little poker there.
So it's like a cigar roach clip.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
But it looks like a toothpick on the end. But but if you don't be careful like me, I think I burned a couple of hairs off my beard and my goatee because I truly want to go all the way as far as I can, and I end up burning something. So
first of all, here's my advice. I don't know so much about that and like doing that, right? However, Mark down those cigars. Because the ones that you're really doing that are really good cigar for your palate. And mark those down. And when you do your reviews, you can pay special close attention to those because they might get a higher rating because you're spending your time doing that. So you got a cigar poker that you can hold.
That.
Yeah,
I got that. And then I got my new JC Newman humidor. I posted that on Facebook.
Yeah.
Put the pictures on there. I was so excited when it came in. I was like, what is this? And so, that's a very high quality piece of furniture for sure. And it was fun to get it all. I mean, they sent it to me already seasoned. They already did everything for me. And they just gave me some simple instructions because they know how busy I am nowadays. Yeah. So they did that. And then it comes with a nice little polish cloth and it has a key and all that stuff. Not that I need to lock it for any reason, but so that was very nice. And it holds about, so I'm a 50 gauge ring smoker. So I'm in that category. So it holds about 80 comfortably. If I got a mix in there, it'll hold about close to 95, I would say. I try to put 100 of other ones, and it was just way too crowded in there. So 80 for me was the wheelhouse for that box. But yeah, definitely a great piece of furniture. And then on top of that, I got some ashtrays from different people. So I got like 6 different ashtrays now.
Nice.
So that was cool. Ashtrays I love the artwork. I got one for the Puente family, one from Dav Cigars. Got another one from JC Newman, Brick House, with the Brick House art on it. So, and then got one from Placencia. So,
yeah.
And I got a couple other ones, Ashton and what's the other brand? It's somewhere in the box somewhere.
Cool. Yeah.
So I got two now.
Yeah.
I'm ass straight up. So if I have a big party here at the house, I got enough ashtrays for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the humidor, have you had a bigger humidor like that before or no? You just...
Yeah, the one I had prior to that, my wife bought me a few years back as an anniversary gift. And she's seen how I've outgrown that. So she was like, oh, cool. But she goes, what are you going to do with the old one? So I'm going to fill it up. So I'll keep that one filled with, some of the private blends now. So I've been, a lot of places I go to, they have private blends or their house blend. And so I've been wanting to stock up on those because those are great for, just getting one, jamming the truck. And, if I finish it, I finish it. If I don't, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, it's that type of deal for that one. But other than that, got some bottles of whiskey, got some spirits for sure. Just kind of the normal things I get.
Yeah.
But I passed out, but I gave out some great gifts as well. So I gave out like signs, like some of the artwork signs, some of the tin signs.
Yep.
So I've been able to gather a little back stock on those. So I get some of those when I go to cigar events or sometimes I win them in a draw. What do you call that? Raffle. Yeah. So I'll pass those along because there's only so much my wife will let me put up.
Yeah. I got that stuff. I have a bin full of kind of older stuff. Some of it even dates back to the cigar shop where I used to own in Providence as well when I had a business partner with that. And, and in my other house, I used to have a cigar room, but it was like kind of like a cigar guitar room, but I really never smoked cigars in it because I'm a cigar shop guy anyway. You know what I mean? But go ahead, what? And you got what?
No, and I'm sorry, just to top it all off. So my wife got me a gift for the cigar garden. So I got a brand new 65-inch 4K whatever, so I can enjoy that instead of the 42-inch that we had out there. So that was
look at you. You watch news in the cigar garden, or you can watch reruns of Stogie Geeks in the cigar garden. There you go. Man,
I've been on an Office kick for the last. I started back to season 1 when The Office first came out here. So I'm out there and I'll pick a cigar that's an hour, some Churchills, of the Churchills that I have. So so I've been spending some time out there in the cigar garden for sure.
That's awesome. Yeah, I got this glass here, right? And it's like a what the heck are those things called? A flask that holds the cigars too. And
nice.
And in it on it, they put Joe Hollywood. And I was like, Joe, man, I haven't heard that in a long time. That's what Paul calls me. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So my son and my girl got me that, and super cool with the glass and everything, and I was like, wow, and I got the socks with the cognac and stuff like that, and some non-cigar stuff, Star Wars socks and stuff like that. It's like a 12-pack of like all the different the episodes and droid socks and all that stuff. So super cool stuff. Which kind of got me thinking, like, wow, like, I've received so many cigar gifts throughout, like, obviously just being in the industry, either from here on Stogie Geeks. Some sponsors or non-sponsors have had sent some super cool stuff that kind of like sticks out and stuff like that. And some of them I still use today. Like, for example, I was the best man at my brother's wedding. I got a cutter that has the date of the wedding.
Nice.
Love Matt and Steph, blah, blah, blah. And it's a bullet, but it's a 2-pot bullet. Big bullet for bigger engage, little thinner bullet, and then it's a guillotine cutter. I actually put that in my golf bag, you know what I mean? Because stuff like that's engraved, and this is where we get into, like, the tip segment for the Stogie Geeks listeners. Stuff like that's engraved, if that becomes your primary function, like if someone were to go to a store, like a things remembered and whatnot, as opposed to like a manufacturer's gift, there. Sometimes they don't last as long. It depends on if you're an everyday smoker like myself, or if you're if you're a weekend warrior, whichever. So I put that in my golf bag, and it's like kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, it just reminds me of that day and stuff like that. Common stuff I use. I use this thing every day from Churchill Smoke Shop and Lounge. It's got their in embroidery. It's a leather binder here. It's got most of my tools here. I got my business cards. I put my lighter in here. It's on a desk now. I got my bullet. I got my guillotine there. What I'm missing in this thing, as far as a wish list, is I've always wanted a pair of those Zycar scissors. Right, the multi-tools, like, because it's got a polka and stuff like that. I love gadgets, right? But then again, like, most probably cigar smoker guys, all gals, they love gadgets, right? Because we're tinkering around, as a smoking on a cigar and whatnot. But I refuse to buy it. And the only reason why I refuse to buy it is because years ago I got the Zycar cutter, and this is the basic, Zycar cutter, super cool. At the time, it retailed around $75. But here's the problem with this Zycar cutter, okay? I bought 2 of them in 5 days because I got one, okay, for a gift. And the very next day, we hopped on a plane, and I totally forgot, like, about the whole thing, and it got taken away. And I was like, man, like, totally, like, whatever. And so when we flew to what's the place? Cigars on not Planet Hollywood, Universal Studios, the Boardwalk.
Yeah,
I got another one. So this is my very expensive Zycar in 1 week because I spent double for it, and actually spent a little bit more because it was in the middle of Disney and whatnot. So like I'm kind of like practical. So that's my story as far as a wish list. There. I've received lighters. I mean, I have tons of lighters. A lot of them are Zippos. I have the one from my father's ship from when he retired and stuff like that. I have that like on a desk of stuff for a kind of memory box of my father and all that stuff. And, it's super cool. Every once in a while, like if I know I'm going to a wedding and it's gonna be outside and we're gonna have a cigar, I'll use that lighter for that occasion and stuff like that, or I'll just put it in the binder and use it for a week or so and do that. Even though it's a Zippo and there's you get a taste of flame. That's a whole other argument there. It's preference, like anything else there. So yeah, I was starting to think like wish list, Drew. Like like I said, those cigar scissors, I've been wanting those, and it's been, and it's again, it's not like a cost thing, right? It's just you never get around to it, or you're like, whatever, I always like lighters. Like we go next door, and next door over at the Havana Cigar Shop, they get a new batch of lighters, and I always like them, but like I'm always hesitant to pull the trigger on like a super cool lighter because like they either work for 3 weeks or they work forever. In my experience, you know what I mean. And I can't hit water if I fell out of a boat, so I just don't get that. But those scissors come to mind. I love old swag. Someone's actually got me a stock certificate. Obviously, it has no value. It was bought in an antique shop, but they framed it of like you can purchase common stock for a cigar company. It's since then closed, stuff like that. I like super cool paraphernalia like that for sure. And I love when you walk into a retail space in my travels, and some of the shops have some of the older stuff. Not so much now here in the Northeast. They used to be like that. They used to be like little antique shops, in my opinion, where they would have older stuff there. But now it's like more loungy and stuff like that. They got the light that hangs down. It's all pretty, But what's on your wish list?
For me, it's more probably just some of that nostalgia stuff, like some of the boxes. Like I've been looking at boxes lately just to kind of go with my artwork, my band collection. So that's I get way extreme. So I go for the hard stuff. Something that's unattainable, but. Looking on all the websites like Let It Go or whatever. I mean, you'll find some stuff on there, and I've found some old humidor boxes that like from the 40s, and they want like almost next to nothing for them, or I just bargain with them or trade. But yeah, I'm just looking for cigar boxes right now. The lids, mostly. If I could find lids, I like to do some art pieces with those, do some kind of art with them. And there's so many vibrant colors, even the older ones. I mean, they have more of the braised kind of a braille kind of, bumpiness to them. So they have that texture. So looking at some of that, but yeah, that's what I'm looking for. And that's when people ask me, hey, what would you like? And I was if you can find me some boxes, I'll definitely take them, or I'll enjoy them. Make them make art pieces out of them. Do some shadow boxes with some of the boxes, depending on the color or the size, stuff like that. So yeah,
I know one of the super cool things that Churchill's did with box tops is they took off the box tops, and then the top of the humidor. You know how you have it's wood or cedar lined, but it's really the top, right? Because it's long as it's lined, and when they reconstructed the humidor, they put a layer of all the different cigar boxes. Right, of different stuff, so as a layer, and then before he put whatever he was putting to cover it to make it last for the humidor and not get there. If somebody visited the shop or whatever for like a year, they would have him like shoppy it and whatnot, and then he put it over and whatnot. And now we built a retractable thing, so if someone comes, they can take it off and do that. I think that's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like it just adds to like a little touch. If I had like a garage or something like that, a section there and stuff like that. I think when my son gets older, I'll get into that more kind of like house kind of. Hey, son's gonna play in the backyard. I'm gonna have a cigar and chill and decorate the place up. I get more into that as opposed to just go to a cigar shop.
No, you hit it on the nail on the head, because that's like some of the stuff, like when my grandson comes over, it's easy for me to work with him a little bit. So I guess build skills, wood shop skills. Yeah. He's only 18 months, but hey, as long as you don't cut his fingers or gets returned to his parents with a foot missing, I guess I'm okay with that. But the other thing like some of the, a lot of people, they'll send me like a lighter or something like that. And you're right. Lighters are very personal. I have to really look at it myself. I'll invest in a very decent lighter or cutter. I gotta play with it for a little bit. I gotta, I hate to get them and then they break like within a few uses, or the blades they chop the cigar versus really giving a clean cut. So, I have my personal everyday cutter is I call it a two-way cutter. It's made by Calibri, and that one has the deep V on the front, and then the guillotine on the back, and it's really heavy. I mean, it's
this one. It's by Calibri.
Let me see. Yeah, I got the same.
Yeah, you got that, and then it's got the deep V. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have exactly that one, that color.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's pretty heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's weighty. Yeah, it's got. Yeah, and that one, it doesn't slip my hands. I almost cut my finger one day. Almost cut the tip of my finger off. The third time I used it, I was careful after that. But other than that, I did have one of the other ones you just showed, the little V one that opens up on the sides.
Yep.
And that's I think I got that from Calibri as well. And after like 50 or 60 uses, it started to chop my cigars a little bit. So I was like, I'll just leave that in the cigar, and if I ever need emergency backup.
You know what I don't like about the aspect of the little gadgets, and I went through this when Security Weekly, we all went to Vegas in August for a security conference, and like Paul and I were packing stuff, and we, obviously we were packing cigar stuff, and it's like, man, you can't take this on your carry-on, you know what I mean? So it's like, stick it, like our production crew, Mark and Johnny, have stuff, so like he's got like a little plastic humidor that is going to get shipped like pre-flight. It's not even going to be shipped on a plane. It gets shipped to the conference, and we go there, and then it's like, you're sticking stuff in there, because if you travel a lot and someone gives you something, you don't want to end up in the predicament like I was, where you're in the line, and they give you the option to step out of line and then do that and ship it to yourself, but you're just like, it's just such an effort to get through the TSA process that you just, some people are like, all right, I'm going to take it, and I will ship it to myself. But, what happens if you bought something somewhere and you need to ship it? So just, Stogie Geeks listeners, if you're going through, just think about that. If you're doing some traveling, you can put it in your checked luggage for sure. But if you can't put it on your carry-on, you know what I mean? And it's crazy because, I go to work with, we have like a backpack. It's got stuff in there that we go through, and it's like, before we travel, it's like I got to take everything out of the backpack because some of the stuff I just can't travel with. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's kind of disheartening because before you used to be able to. You know what I mean? I love like Cross Pens. I loved it when I was on radio. Cross Pen was like a sponsorship, so like I was writing on I got this friggin' like 100 right here in my Churchill's thing. This like $175 pen. And like, and I'm not like status on money. I'm just giving like a reference point. And like when you write about it, like glides, and it's supposed to be from space, and they engraved it for me and stuff like that. But it's like, I don't know if I would go off the deep end. I mean, I know a couple of writers, obviously from being in the radio industry and television, where they're like, oh yeah, those pens are like, you could feel the difference. I'm like, dude, it writes like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I would never go out and spend that, but I think it's a super cool gift. So, if you got gifts coming around and you really don't know what to give someone or whichever, you can flash Drew or myself an email for sure, and we could point you in the right direction there. Because some of the things, even if you're not into premium cigars, but your significant other or someone you have to give a gift to is, at least you can kind of, get them something and see if it's thoughtful or not. But I've received like random stuff in the mail, like from people I know, both pre and post Stogie Geeks. We're like, hey man, I was cleaning my father's house. I found this old cigar box. It's like a bookshelf. You know what I mean? It's like, it looks like a book. And I figured you would like it. You know what I mean? Here you go. And I don't know. I just think like a handwritten note. Doesn't have to be on a $175 pen, but like a handwritten note with that, it really goes a long way. And I don't think people really pause enough in their lives to actually do that there. So before we wrap this up and talk a little bit about Placencia and what we've been smoking, do you have any other kind of wish list stuff? I other than my scissors, I'm kind of tapped out as far as wish list, but I love super cool stuff. I don't really know what the industry could come up next. I do look at the articles when they come out on some of the major publications of the gifts of the year and stuff like that. It just, I don't know, like maybe we can invent one or something like that.
A stationary setup, with kind of a cigar paper with some kind of watermark, something like that. I like that. I got some ideas for that. And I've seen some of those pins. I don't know if you've seen them on Facebook or any of the other social medias, like some of this Opus X neat, the artwork, they kind of I don't know what those are, but I haven't really looked into those. But
Oh,
those,
yeah. They're like a tactical pen that has the outwork. Is it heavy or is
yeah,
it okay? Yeah.
yeah, it looks like it's pretty heavy. Yeah, those are pretty cool. I like those too. So I need to get my hands on one of those. So if anyone wants to buy me a gift, there you go.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it. So we're not really like I don't know. I expected you to come up with something a little more. You want a pen and I want scissors. So there you go.
Yeah. Pen and
Right.
scissors. Yeah. I've been asking my wife for an Aston Martin, so
Well, that's not
see.
happening.
well, we'll see.
We'll see. There you go. Awesome. Well, when we come back, we are going to talk about the Placencia Elmo del Campo and what we've been smoking. Stogie Geeks, this is a small glass. We're going to take a quick break, and when we return, we're going to talk about it.
Plasencia cigars, perfected for more than 150 years. Yours to enjoy now.
Welcome to Stogie Geeks, episode 317. I am your host, Joe Hozempo. Welcome back. This is the Stick of the Week section, and the stick that Drew and I are going to talk about this week, it is featuring here on the Stogie Geeks show. It is the Plasencia Elma del Campo, and I am enjoying this stick right now as we speak. Plasencia had sent us some, and I've been doing some taste testing, Drew, and I certainly am much satisfied with what I am smoking so far. But anyway, the Plasencia, what do you think, Drew?
Yeah, just very, very nice and mild. I mean, smooth. It's leaves a little heavy, lasting finish on the palate for sure.
Oh yeah, one of the things, like from a first characteristics of this here, is you kind of get it starts off for me. It's a little bit complex, right? Like you're like, whoa, right? But immediately that smoke, it really lingers on the palate, and it's almost like, I guess if you were to talk about smoke from that perspective, there, it's like an upgrade, and it just lingers on the palate. And even when you're done, it's really the tasting components are still there for sure. It does leave a lasting impression, absolutely. In regards to the notes, I'm getting a little bit of nuts and some coffee. I have had this cigar with my morning coffee, and I definitely recommend this cigar. The exact size that I am smoking right now is the Toro Extra. That is a 6.5 by 54. It is also available in 4 other sizes. The Plasencia Elmo del Campo is available in a Robusto 5 by 52. It's available in a Toro Gordo 6 by 56, a Gordo 6.5 by 58, and a Robusto Gordo 5.5 by 54. I have had every size except for the 6.5 by 58. That's just I have them in the humidor. They'll probably sit and age a bit. Comparing it to the other stick of the week that we have done with Plasencia, the Cosecha 146, that to me was a little bit spicier there, but certainly this stick does not disappoint as well. Your wrapper binder filler is all Nicaraguan, and I believe that this is a stick that you will enjoy. So if you're at your local brick and mortar, or if you get your cigars online, definitely seek them out. If you are looking for a retailer near you, all you have to do is go to StogieGeeks.com and click on that Plasencia banner, throw in your zip code, and away you go. You can find a retailer near you. If they're not near you, call them. Maybe the retailer will ship them to you. That would be a good gift. Adding on to our other segment in regards to gifts that we started off with today's show.
So Alma del Campo is Spanish for soul of the field.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who are needing a little Spanish tutelage.
There you go. And the cosecha was Spanish for harvest. And it's the 146th harvest of that time of what they use for that tobacco.
Yes.
Boy, it's not a lot of boardroom discussion of how we come up with the name.
Yeah. So did you get, have you tasted, have you got to, when you first lit that stick, did you get any creaminess out of it? Any smoothness out of it?
Well, when I first, that's a good question. I did a cat eye Colibri Deep V, right? Which is what I do on a majority of my stuff. I'm a V cut or a bullet, but and when you first light it up, you're like, well, okay, you really taste that spice like right away, and then you know how it gets started. Like it's not even an inch. It's going. It starts to go. It's just that really spicy complexness subsides. Not too much, but it does subside. but all throughout the stick, I'm assuming that this stick is going to go the same way. It's just tasty like the same way through. So you get that initial spice, that complexity that they talk about on their website, that complex of spice. But as you get going, once you're past that first inch or so, not even the first half, it just kind of fades. And then you get the nut, a little bit of nut, and some coffee notes. Coffee for days, I think, right? My takeaway from this is if this makes sense, on the retro hail, you still get the nut and the coffee, but you take away the earth. Yes. Does that make sense? You know the dryness?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. The dryness on your palate fades, and I guess the opposite of dry would be wet, and so it's kind of like lingered. The taste of the smoke on your palate will linger after you're done, for sure.
Yeah, there's a word in there that you use.
Not a cigar you want to take on a date, unless you have breath mints. There you go.
What's that you use in the, I can't say that word, umami? You get a lot of.
Umami, yes.
There you go.
Yes. You know, that is a word, if I ever have the privilege of knowing when my last Stogie Geeks episode is, umami is going to come up. Because we talk about different things, nuts and flavor and espresso and this and that, and I get it, and it's adjectives, right? To discuss that and what cigar podcast guests are doing, or writers who write in publications, is they're trying to elaborate that, right? But there's Tobacconist University tells you that there's only like 5 things you can taste from cigars. And this is a good debate, by the way, that you bring this up, right? It's either saltiness, sweetness, sour, and one of them is umami, and I'm missing the 5th, right? It's been a while since I've done that curriculum, right? But it's like, other than that, it just becomes an adjective. But yeah, it gives you that. Oh, there you go. What's the other one I'm missing?
No. This is not from. This is just a
cheat sheet. What is that?
This is my NFL. How the coaches have to play on the sidelines.
Oh, come on, Drew. You do not have one for cigars.
Oh yeah, this is all for cigars. This is all.
What the hell is that?
It's a cigar guide. I mean, it's got full of different. Front, back. My wife laughs at me when I'm out in the cigar and I'm smoking, and I'm like,
wait, elaborate on that guide. What is that?
So it's a glossary of terms, how to enjoy your cigar types, building a cigar, and then the colors, so that you can get more geekish about it. That's just me. And then find vintage cigars. And then popular cigar brands by flavor and size. So, but then it also goes into a lot of like drinks and compliments, cutting your cigar, lighting your cigar, shapes and sizes, cigar tobacco growing regions. So,
where did you get that?
Oh, I found this. I can't tell anybody.
Okay.
This came from South America. And this came from somebody. But I'll share it with you, and then we'll decide if we need to
scan it.
This is like how do you say 007 stuff for us geeks, Stogie geeks.
All right. Now, all right. You just added 7 more minutes to this interview. I'm sorry, to this segment. Give me 2 glossary terms.
2 glossary
Johnny
terms.
said 6 minutes.
Okay.
Give me 2 just randomly. That has nothing to do with just give them to me.
Okay. Lance. Center
LANCE?
Yes. Cutter used to pierce small hole in the closed end of a cigar. It's also called a piercer. So that's Lance. That's what's on there. Bouquet. The smell of rose or of a cigar, and properly stored cigars lose their bouquet. So
improperly. Yeah, I got you. Yep.
Yes.
Bouquet.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it says. Bouquet, the smell or nose of the cigar, improperly stored cigars that lose their bouquet.
Okay. So, can I get the camera to go on me?
Sure.
This is the bouquet of the Placencia Elmo del Campo is phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
I did not use a lance to
No, you did
pierce
not.
the end. The lance. That's like a Monty Python term. Can you please, dude? I'm going to a cigar shop after work today, right? And I'm gonna say, can you pass me a lance? And I'm gonna report back to you, and tell them that Drew's South American Glossary told me to use the lance today.
So they have one here. It's flag leaves.
Wait. What? Flag leaves?
Flag leaves.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
And that right there says an extension of the wrapper leaf shaped to finish the head of a cigar used instead of a cap.
Oh, look at that.
So yeah, it's there's a lot of information on this.
Nice.
I'll definitely send you a copy of this. But yeah, had
Hooked
it
on phonics
had it
with
laminated.
Drew. That is awesome. That is awesome that you pulled that out. Oh my god. Yeah.
I am told by the person who sent it to me that I'm only the sixth one in the world that has it. So
007 stuff. Nice.
I'm
Is the
telling you,
autograph
brother.
signed?
No. They don't want. They said that they could get hurt if they found out it landed in the media hands or something like that.
No kidding. Wow. Look at that. True.
Pretty cool. And I'll tell you what gets me is like the fine vintage cigars he has on here. So let me just read off a couple of those.
Yeah, let's do it.
So he has a Flor de Fra Palomares, 1958.
Mm-hmm.
A Ramon Alianes
I've heard Ramon Alones.
Ideals,
Yeah,
1958.
Yeah. Had that.
Yep. A Henry Clay Coronas, 1958.
Probably not the year, but obviously, yep.
Yep. And then a Romeo and Juliet, a number 758. Alfred Dunhill Limited, Selección Suprema, Cedro Deluxe, 1959. So he's got like 10 of them here listed that I'm supposed to go out and find and let him know where I found him.
Did he give you spending money for that? Because that Selección 1959 is probably going to be, if it was here in Rhode Island, there's a certain retail shop that has a vintage collection, private collection, and they only open up the humidor twice a month, and then so he glass cases it and he taunts his customers. Because you stare at that stuff, because you stare at like there's a Davidoff in there, it's like $500, blah blah blah. It's like all this stuff, and I mean, like and I'm just like, all right, cool, But where was I today? No, it wasn't today. I was this week, and someone says, "Have you ever been to the Davidoff Lounge in Vegas?" And I says, "Yeah." And they says, "I wasn't talking to you about this, right?" And they opened up a back room. No. I didn't talk to you for Stogie. So, I got to think about where I was. And they said, "Yeah, have you ever been to Davidoff in Vegas?" I says, "Yeah." They're like, "Did you ever walk in the humidor?" I says, "Yeah." They go, "Do you know there's a back room in the humidor?" I says, "No, I did not." I knew there was one at Casa Fuente because obviously Paul told the story when he came over here after our trip. But he was like, "No." He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "I went down there and I met somebody." Oh, I know where I was. And he ended up meeting. It was a Davidoff private party, right?
Yeah.
At the Davidoff Lounge. It was the launch of the Davidoff Lounge in Vegas. And the CEO of Davidoff came in, and there's a back room in there if you know the password. And I got the password.
Nice.
So when we go to Black Hat this year, I'm gonna say the password. And I told him, I says, give me a cell phone number, because if this doesn't work, I'm gonna call you on Vegas time. And believe me, we're out till 4 in the morning over there, which is like 7 in the morning over here. And whatnot. And supposedly, if you do this, that means like it's the owner's private selection and whatnot of stuff, and you can have access to that Davidoff there. So I'm going to do that. That's one of my missions.
Nice.
For there, just to see what we can get. And there was some private selection and stuff from the owner, and they ended up getting it and stuff like that. And he's going back before then, so he's like, I'll let you know, and hopefully he'll send some stuff. If he does, I told him to get 3, one for you, one for me, one for Paul. If he gets 2, I'll probably give one to you and Paul, and just bite the bullet and just smoke regular Davidoffs. I'll be fine with that.
So is that like a one entry per password, or is that? I mean, we can't just use.
No. Like what it is you have to buy it, but it's like the cheapest one's $75, the most expensive one's like $200, right? But it really doesn't surprise me because when Paul told the story and he bought a $150 Davidoff at the Davidoff lounge there, and I don't know if he smoked it yet and whatnot, but I'm sure he didn't. He's probably gonna wait till he's 80 or something like that. But me, I would have I would have done a cut light right then and there. You know what I mean? But that's just me. Take pictures of it, tell the story for ages, and there you go.
Right.
But so supposedly, if you go there and you say that, you can get one stick from this back thing. Guy comes with the key, and then you get it because you're like in an exclusive thing. I ran into someone who told me about that and whatnot.
Nice.
So we're gonna see if it works. If it doesn't work, I'm going for the $150 Davidoff this year. What the hell?
I know some people in Vegas.
It'll probably be 156 because inflation will go up. Well, actually, no. Davidoff will lower their prices because they're not going to IPCPR.
Right. Let's have a clearance. Let's have a clearance sale.
Right. I'm something tells me that they're going to be just fine. But yeah. Anyway, final thoughts on the Elmo Del Campo before we jump into what we've been smoking.
Yeah, no, my take on it exactly is exactly how it's described. I mean, it's handcrafted at Plasencia Cigar Factory in Nicaragua. It is definitely a perfect balance, complex stick with a perfect balance. It's creamy. The creaminess I got from it was more on the almond kind of, and the smoky kind of spice was teetering between the smoked almond spice, if you get what I mean. And then from there, it's just like it finishes off pretty well. And on the retro, the coffee does come through, so you definitely get that sense there, and then the nuttiness of it for sure. So good stick. I definitely would. I'm gonna give it a rating. Is that okay?
Yeah, we'll do that. That's the next step, and then we're wrapping that up. Yeah,
okay.
Please do.
Yeah. I would definitely buy a box of these and share them with my friends. And like I said, I normally, it's rare that I would buy a box. Well, if I buy a box and just hoard it to myself, I just don't do that. I just kind of like to share the experience and get other people's opinions and takes on it, and then expect some kind of grandiose gift in return to the person who's smoking the stick with me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just joking. All my friends probably, oh, are we supposed to bring him a gift when he smokes with us?
Yes, you should. Yes, you should. You give a host a gift, you might get a mention. If mention's not important to you, still give the host a gift. You might get a hug. For me, you get a hug.
Everybody knows. Everybody that comes around me, they already know. Andrew's Nirvana, and they're like, "What do you mean by that? You come as you are."
There you go.
As you are. Yeah,
I like it. Absolutely. Yeah. In regards to the rating, I would absolutely positively give this box worthy. There. One of the things that I like to do when I travel, because Plasencia here in the Northeast is not as active as it is when we go down south. I mean, obviously, South Florida, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia, they're hot spots for that. But I know like Plasencia and like Espinosa are like everywhere in South Florida. And I think if I lived down there and I was readily available to, like, if I was going to cigar shops and had those shops readily available to me, because I'm not such a big online guy with cigars, I would probably they would be my go-to sticks for sure. Like, so I'd buy a box, definitely there. So Stogie Geeks, if you want to check them out, you go to stogiegeeks.com, click on that Plasencia banner, type in your zip code, find a retailer near you, and away you go. You'll be able to enjoy a different smoke. That's one of the things I like about the Plasencia line is they are different. And one of the things I'm going to talk about when we interview Nessa Plasencia next episode of Stogie Geeks, if everything works out well with the internet and prep calls and all of that stuff and scheduling wise, or we'll get them in rotation within the month of January. I want to talk about that lingering part of the palate. And Drew, I know you always hold me accountable when you give me your show stuff. like make sure I ask that question. Like I want because I've smoked the other stuff that we're going to interview as well. They've shipped it, and I'm noticing a really interesting theme, regardless of the initial component or bouquet that I'm having. When I'm enjoying the cigar, what I'm noticing is a cadence on and a theme on on my palate so far with stuff, and I've had other stuff from Placencia as well, and it just always lingers on my palate. So there you go. I'd give it a box worthy. Go for it. Check them out. There you go. Okay.
Box worthy, and share them with all your friends.
There you go.
And then they'll go out and get a box, and then they'll share it with all their friends, and therefore you've started a revolution.
Placencia is all around. There you go. I like it.
There you go.
Awesome. Drew, what else have you been smoking? Because we've had a little bit of a break around the holidays, and here we are.
So I dipped into a couple of brands that weren't on my radar, but Bonaventura D7. Got my hands on a few of those. Some friends of mine sent those to me from New Mexico, actually. So this one, it's a box press Bellicoso with a rounded tip. It does have some body medium to full on that one. It is notes of coffee, earth, and it's got a little bit sweeter hints of mocha and caramel. There's a little bit of a nuttiness that precedes the mineral finish to this cigar, but which is the earth balance of that. But yeah, it was a good cigar. It's something that I would have to get some more just to see it. How really well it pairs with with the first one as far as the consistency. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so a friend of mine sent me some of those. What about you? What do you got?
Well, what would you rate it?
Oh, that one there, I definitely do a 5 on that one. It's a Nicaraguan cigar for sure. It's a wrapper filler binder Nicaraguan. The one I had was a 50 Figurado 52 by 5.5, 550. And yeah, I'd give it a 5 for sure.
Cool.
At this point.
Cool. Yeah, I've never had that one. I'll have to seek that out. It's box press Bellicoso. So yeah, yeah. I had a box press this morning. I'm not gonna rate it. I've rated it probably about 15 episodes ago. But that Spanish press La Gloria Cubana.
Oh yeah,
I fucking love that cigar by Jared.
So do I.
That's a freaking good cigar. And Stogie Geeks, it's not gonna break the bank.
No.
There too, but with the box press, it rang a bell. Well, I don't know what happened between Christmas and New Year's, but Paul rearranged his humidor, right? And towards the end of the year, I had my stuff kind of stacked in boxes, and I think he consolidated boxes, and then he's got on the top 2 shelves like cedar trays there. Uh-huh. So I'm like, what the hell did he do with the cigars? Right? I come in and I'm looking for him, and he was organizing the humidor, and so I was looking for the cigars, and I happened to find in Paul's humidor the Casa Fernandez Miami Reserva Maduro, and I'm like, oh my God, he still has these left? And then I looked, and I says, it's not in the F off section. I'm going to go for it, right? And I'm like, I remember smoking this cigar on Stogie Geeks, and then so I didn't look up my rating then, and I had it. And so my notes of this cigar, I'll give you my notes now, and then I'll give you my notes then on this cigar. Again, this is the Casa Fernandez Miami Reserva. It's in Paul's humidor. It's probably from 2012, right? Because there are other Stogie Geeks notes that are from that, so I'm guessing it's from that batch. Wrapper binder filler all Nicaraguan. It's had a little bit of age on it, for sure. It's available in a single size, 6 by 54. It's called the Toro Reserva. And let me tell you something. I had this cigar in the morning, and I was like, oh, yeah, this is such a good cigar. It goes great with my morning coffee. I'm doing my notes. I'm doing my stuff here over at Security Weekly. Everything's going really super cool. It's burning good. Smoked it down to the nub. I got creamy towards the end. I got a little bit of earthiness. The retrohale is phenomenal. The age and balance is super awesome on this cigar. Started looking up this cigar, and there was a review in 2011. It was November for Stogie Geeks. So if you go to stogiegeeks.com and type in Casa Fernandez Miami Reserva in the search or Miami Reserva, it'll come up. There was a Stogie Geek host, Tim, in November of 2011. And again, strength was full, Nicaraguan binder filler. He gave that there. The MSRP then was about $9, same throughout as I did my research. So it's not a bad stick at all from a pricing standpoint. But these do have a little bit of age on them. And Tim had gave it an angler, which I thought was interesting. So now I'm like, okay, rabbit hole. Let me look up what Joe Hozempa said, right? And so when you look at in Stogie Geeks, if you can type in like Casa Fernandez Miami Hozempa or Joe, and all the tags will come up there. So in the search component there. But I had posted in February 5th of 2018, I had posted this stick. At the time in 2018, I was doing a complexity flavor balance scale there, and I rated it from like 1 to 10. It was just like my shtick that I did there. Complexity, I gave it a 7 then. Flavor, I gave it a 7. Balance, I gave it an 8. I totally agree with those numbers. Not because I wrote it, but, because I wrote it, right?
Right.
One of those things. And then I actually gave it a box split then. And so if you think about my rating system, I gave it a box split. I'd have to go with the same thing. I'd give it a box split because I don't want to send Stogie Geeks on a wild goose chase. But these are available online, and it's around that same price point, and you can go and get that. They have a Maduro edition, and it's got a little bit more spice. But one of my notes I want to say, and I quote then. Expect the Maduro to have a little bit of spice, but no harshness, with notes of pepper fading towards the end. And you know something? I still feel the same way. So again, this other guy, this other Stogie Geeks host had it when they first came out. It did debut around that time, so maybe it was new or whatever. He gave it an angler. That's where it kind of like rose to my attention. Because if I enjoyed something and another host gave it something, I try to find a happy medium. I would imagine it would just be a component of time. Anyway, the Casa Fernandez Miami Reserva Maduro, you can find them online. I am quite sure that you cannot find them in a brick and mortar shop at this particular time. It's the Miami edition, and I'd give it a box split as well.
Nice.
There you have it. Did my research.
All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
All right. McAuliffe Grand Bold Maduro 544M.
Mm-hmm.
So this of course, McAuliffe is my homie here in Texas. They're just a stone's throw west of me. So McAuliffe Cigars. This is a short, thin cigar. It burns pretty even. Its primary notes are going to be of toasted vanilla, nuts, and a hint of red and black pepper. Black pepper, man, on the retro, I love it. It's definitely there. It smokes nice. It's got it's a smoky cigar. So the ash is nice and holds well throughout the cigar. So I try to flick it a couple times. I do a light flick. I don't sit there and beat the crap out of my cigar. I just kind of, give it a flick.
That's a good point, because if you beat your cigar like hard on an ashtray and whatnot, and you have a Connecticut wrapper or a lighter wrapper, i.e. a thinner wrapper, you can cause it to crack. I've seen it happen a lot of times. People are like, oh, this cigar sucks. It's freaking cracking. I'm like, dude, you're freaking banging on it. All you have to do is just take a little bit of the corner and just get that edge out and be gentle. Yeah. That's what she said. Anyway, moving on.
Filler binder on this is Nika. The wrapper is Ecuadorian. Ring gauge, like I said, it's 44. length by 5. Definitely a full body cigar. And again, as y'all know by now, I'm a full body cigar person, but I'll go to that light side. I just prefer to be on the dark side. But yeah, cigar very nice, well presented. Doesn't have a lot of construction issues at all. I mean, the only thing the one I got had a little what do you call that, shaggy foot, and that could have been me, because sometimes I notice that sometimes when I'm traveling, I'll have a bunch of cigars and in the movement. I drive in Texas like it's NASCAR season all season, so because that's just what we do here in Texas. Trade colors if necessary. But anyhow, yeah. So great cigar. Smokes very well. As I said, there is. I definitely would recommend at least a box split on this one. It's the red and the black pepper do come through the profile pretty nicely.
There you go. What was that?
Yeah, that is the McAuliffe Grande Bold Maduro.
And you gave it a rating of box split.
Box split. Yeah, box split.
There you go.
Yeah, box split with that with someone, because I mean, there's so many, and the heavy body cigars or the full body cigars. There's so many out there, and just again, if you're that one where you just kind of smoke it throughout the year, I would say a box would last you pretty well. But for me, it's a box split for sure.
Mm-hmm. This is where my radio skills come in. This part of the broadcast is brought to you by McAuliffe Cigars.
Nice.
Just to let you know, McAuliffe Cigars are handcrafted in their factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. Their corporate office and distribution center is located in North Texas, just a stone's throw away from Drew. And if you want to become an ambassador, Stogie Geeks, this is an exclusive to Stogie Geeks. Listeners, if you want to become an ambassador for McAuliffe Cigars, just to let you know, the original McAuliffe Cigars Legacy Series includes award-winning Reserva Limitada, Privatada, as well as the Leonardo Experienza in Connecticut. All you have to do is go to StogieGeeks.com. They are looking for ambassadors. You go to StogieGeeks.com, click on the McAuliffe logo, sign up to become an ambassador. If you are an ambassador, you get an ambassador coin, Facebook group membership, free cigar at McAuliffe events. You'll be able to host your own events, learn more about McAuliffe Cigars, exclusive contest for ambassadors, 25% discount on all swag items, because we all know that FDA jumps in there, and behind-the-scenes view of a boutique cigar company. And then sometime in Q3 of 2020, we're going to be having a roundtable with the ambassadors and find out what their experience has been. So if you're interested in jumping into the industry without becoming and quitting your day job, which is something I suggest that you do, don't quit your day job. All you have to do is go to StogieGeeks.com, register to become an ambassador, or flash them an email and get more information on that. Look at that. That's how that worked out. Look at that. That's crazy.
Let me add to that real quick. So those of you, if you're fortunate to have a McAuliffe event in your neighborhood, definitely go by there. I mean, the reps are great. I mean, the people are great. The family, just very nice people. They're very welcoming. They know their cigar. They know their history, and it's just awesome. So here in Texas, I mean, they're always holding some some event at one of the brick and mortars. Whether it's way down south in Corpus Christi or way up here in North Texas, where I'm at, Dallas, they phenomenal people. So just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah. I'm excited that they decided to jump on with Stogie Geeks. I've heard a lot of stuff on the streets about them, and I'm interested to see what kind of year they have for 2020 and what they come up with. Sure. I've had experience with smoking some of their line. I'm still getting through it.
Yeah.
And from what I've had so far, I have some, put these aside because I'm gonna review these. But I'm kind of waiting on my reviews. I have my notes, but I'm kind of waiting on my reviews to let some time go by, because I don't want to be like, hey, become an ambassador for McAuliffe, and by the way, I got a banner behind me, they pay me money too, and stuff like that. I don't want to be like that. It's not my speed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
here-
I kind of want to let it settle there. But I think that if you have a smaller shop who's really into some boutique stuff, you should probably, if you're a retailer listening to this show, and I know there are some who do flash me emails from time to time, definitely consider taking some on. And if you need some guidance as to which ones, I can steer you in a direction of what my palette is if your customer base reflects my palette.
There you go. Agreed.
I'm very disappointed in myself in this next cigar. I cannot believe I did not put 2 and 2 together at all. I've had experience with this cigar before. I've had it, smoked it and enjoyed it, looked at other sizes, smoked them, enjoyed them, and I cannot believe that I did not make the reference at all. And I am talking about the Crowned Heads Jericho Hill.
Oh yeah. One of
Do
my
you know what
favorites.
this cigar is all about?
The history of it?
Yeah, like how they came up with the name of Jericho Hill.
I was just on a Tennessee Waltz kick. Go ahead.
Well,
Tell us.
let me stop by
just-
saying this is one of those times I wish I was sitting in the other set because it was a better microphone, but I'm going to try to do it. Early one morning while making my rounds, I took a shot of cocaine and I shot my woman down. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I didn't even put this together. Like, totally like, oh, yeah, cool. You know, Crown Heads came up with a name, Jericho Hill. They got some other name. Yeah, all right, cool. You know what I mean? Yeah, you know, I am a fan of the Four Kicks. I've said that here on this show. And I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? It's a homage. And then I look at the sizes, and I'm like, are you really freaking kidding me? Right? So anyway, John R. Cash, known as Johnny Cash, is widely considered to be one of the most influential music musicians of the 20th century. His legacy, blah, 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 and it comes from the Folsom Prison song. The sizes are 44S, LBV, OBS, Willie Lee, and Jack Brown. How did I not put this together? Drew, is beyond me. I am like, I honestly, like, I didn't pick up my guitar for like 3 days. I was like, I can't believe it. That, and I was busy, but I was like, you know, I can't believe this. I can't believe I never even, like, I was like, oh, it's Jericho Hill. That's cool. Like, you know what I mean? And that being said, that is where name comes from, for sure. Let's get to the logistics of the cigar, because behind every cigar is a story worth knowing, right? So the wrapper is a San Andreas wrapper from Mexico, binder and filler on Nicaraguan. It is made in that My Father factory over in Nicaragua. It's a regular production release. I had a few sizes now that I knew the story. The one I'm talking about is a 6x54 Willie Lee, talking about $950 price point. It's a box pressed cigar. And let me tell you something. Like, I don't know. I'm such a fan of Crown Heads, and what I like about their bouquet and offerings. Not that I use a lance, right? Good thing you only did 2 glossary words. I would have tried to all use them, right? Whatchamacallit? Well, what I like about them is that there are little nuances in Crown Heads that, like, you really have to slow down and smoke multiple Crown Heads to really get where they're going. And and let me tell you something. You have this cigar, and the first thing I say is, oh wow, it's got spice. You got your classic Nicaraguan spice, but you got some earthiness in there. It's box pressed. We know how I feel about box pressed. Doesn't like the way it feels in my hand. However, it doesn't suck. And the smaller you get in size from that, like I said, I had the 6x54 Willie Lee, but if you get actually in some of the smaller sizes, like the LBV or the 44S. These are little firecrackers, man. They got Nicaraguan punch, classic Nicaraguan flavor. It'll go down to the nub. I always did a V cut. I know on the smaller size, I used the Colibri deep V, but you know how you can just kind of touch it with the V, if that makes sense. You don't go all the way to the backing. You just give it a little cut and thank you, and away it goes. And actually, I'd give it box worthy for sure. Super cool. And now, like I'm not gonna let the name skew my assessment of the cigar, but I would definitely give it a box worthy for sure. But I can't believe I didn't put that together. Like didn't even dawn on me.
So I'm with you with that all the way because that cigar is phenomenal. Have you had? I did a Stogie of the morning the other day. Have you had their Tennessee Waltz?
Not yet.
Oh man, I'm gonna send you some.
Okay, because again, it gets back up to a distribution thing. I could always go online and then do it. I kind of torture myself and don't do it. You know what I mean? Is it good?
Oh, I love John. Yeah, John. Like I said, John Huber. I mean, he makes great product there. It's a medium to full body cigar with a top, with like leathery. From what I wrote, it was leathery, hickory, black pepper, citrus, and it's just awesome. And that one's called. It's after their home state, so that's what it's named after. The Tennessee Waltz. But this stick. I mean, I'm gonna send you some. You're gonna be happy with this one.
No kidding. There you go. Yeah. You keep sending those sticks, and I keep saying, oh yeah, we're gonna super sticks. What you gotta like? I don't know.
You got a box coming. I don't know.
I know I do. You made me
tomorrow.
I know.
Or it should be there tomorrow, or maybe the day later.
I know. You made. You're like already shipping the sticks. am going. I promise Tuesday. Is a little bit of Mondays are kind of crazy around here. Thursdays definitely crazy around here. Wednesdays are crazy. Tuesday morning, I'm gonna sit down with Paul and we're gonna put together something for you. I'm gonna put it in. I'm gonna put it together in our calendar to do that and then get that shipped over to you. And I gotta draw the line, so I'm doing it this Tuesday. So if you could do me a favor and just text me Tuesday morning a picture, a note, box. One word to remind me, and it will get done because I'll make it a task list and then get that done.
All right.
Do you have one more cigar?
Yeah, we'll do one more. So and you know what? The only reason why I'm going to announce this cigar. The only reason why I smoked it or even got it out of the humidor over at one of the brick and mortars here in my area was because of the name. I was like, "What is this?" And so I got it. My Uzi weighs a ton, 8 fish.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, this sounds pretty interesting. Let's take a look at it. So I looked at it, checked out the band. Very, just a nonchalant cigar. So it's pretty solid the way it was rolled, and it looked nice. So and it smelled great. The foot smelled good. So so here we go. So the notes on this one was a lot of bold spice, which I love. I love that with my coffees. I love it with some of my drinks, my spiced rums and things of that nature. But very bold, very spicy, a little bit of minerals, and a little bit, I want to say a little meaty. So just a little meat somewhere in there. But it was just throughout the cigar. The finish is kind of a hay. So, but it just burned nice and evenly, and the draws were nice, and I never had that. So I never had that cigar, and so it actually was a pretty good pick. So I definitely am going to rate this a 5. It's a full body cigar, 44 by 4 inch, so it's a small cigar, not quite a dog walker, but just a little bit larger than a dog walker. It's filler Brazil, Nicaragua, binder Ecuador, and wrapper Mexico. So again, filler is Brazil, Nicaragua, binder Ecuador, and wrapper Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
So let me get my little pronunciation there right.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you
Yeah.
a question. Since you're the band man, did the band have the initials of My Uzi Weighs a Ton, or did it actually spell it?
No, it had the initials.
Gotcha.
So it had the initials, but in a very small font, they had that Uzi Weighs a Ton.
Mhm.
And then it had some kind of photo, which I'm still trying to distinguish, which is probably the bait fish, chum or something. I don't know. So, but yeah, great. It was a great kind of endeavor. I'm like that sometimes. I'll walk in and I'll see something with a name that just like jumps out for a second,
Mhm.
and then it goes back, but then I'll go, rifling through the humidor looking for stuff, and then I'll turn back around and there it jumps back out. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
What I've noticed about those sticks is they're tightly packed, regardless of size.
Yes, they're
You know what I mean?
solid.
Like you know how like you can almost like when you're like kind of not squishing, but I'm a
Yeah.
twirler, right? So I'm a twirler, right?
Yeah.
So which is probably why I don't like box presses, right? Like I said on previous shows, I just don't like the way that they feel in my hand, but I do smoke them.
Yeah.
If I enjoy the flavor, and like I'm a twirler, and what I notice is that they're just super packed.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's what I said. It's very solid. I mean, when you pick it up, first thing you do when you feel it, you're like, oh, let me squeeze a little bit more, and it's like, wow, it's pretty solid.
Right.
And some people, I've talked to people who don't understand that. They think, oh, it's going to be work to smoke it. I'm like, no. It's the way you cut it. It's the way you burn the foot and just kind of get it going. But I go, just because it's packed tight, it doesn't mean it's going to be a work of tiring your jaws or your cheeks or whatever.
If it's made correctly, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And if all fails, get your damn poker out and poke it a few times.
Or throw it out and get another one.
Yeah, or just do that number.
Yeah, man.
Flick it. Just flick it.
Awesome. And your rating on that?
I'm gonna say that's a fiver. I mean, you try that. Yeah, I would try that if I had known that I was gonna have this experience. And it's not a very inexpensive expensive stick either. It's like
Right.
I think I picked it up for like $4.
Sure.
So that was pretty interesting. I was like, oh, okay, it's $4 stick.
Yeah, I noticed the sizes of them. They run a little scotch smaller. So if you have a time crunch with whatever your schedule allows you to do that day, it's a good stick.
27 minutes is what it took me to take that baby down.
Do you time?
No, not always, but
Okay, I just want to make sure.
I was watching my episodes of The Office, and it took 27 minutes. I got through one episode.
There you go. Awesome. The final stick I want to talk about is the Arturo Fluente Destino El Siglo. It's awesome. It's so good.
Sounds like a sports car.
Yeah, it's so good. I mean, if you want to treat yourself, there are some out there that are at a super high component. So if you go to StogieGeeks.com/317, which has the sticks listed, and you throw them into Google and you go into whatever you find, you're like, whoa, there are some other ones in there. They're around $20 or so, or some of the exclusive sticks that were available for that particular year or that particular size can get up to 75. So just kind of bear a little bit of caution from there. It is part of the the Opus X line, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of like, you can go either way on price there for sure, depending on the tobacco there. But speaking of which, your wrapper is Dominican Habano, and your binder and filler are not disclosed. Welcome to the world of Arturo Fluente, Opus X.
Yep. Right.
There you go. The size is a 6 1/8 by 47. Great size. I mean, it's a barely medium in regards to strength. Complexity is not really on the higher side, but the balance and flavor, light flavor maybe, or natural tobacco flavor that's not in your face, but really balanced and super tasty. Light on your palate, but tasty. Having you want more in taste, not more because it's terrible, but like, wow, like this is a really tasty smoke, but it's pretty mild on my palate. There. I mean, it's a good celebratory stick. It's a good stick for you to have. Good makes a great gift if you can find them. For sure, not that they're rare to find or that rare to find. You can certainly find them online with some ease in retail stores. I'm sure the ones that are hyped up on some of the Alto Fluente lines should have them in as they become readily available throughout their cycle. However, there's so much other stuff that's come out post that. I would imagine on the retail side, you might not find it readily available as you think. But in regards to the stick, I definitely give it a box split, just because, they're rare. You should find them. They're good, and they're balanced. And of course, Paul had given it to me, and it obviously has some age on it for sure. There, which makes a big difference. But when I spoke to Paul yesterday afternoon about it, he was like, but the age didn't really make it better or worse. It's just a good stick. It's just super tasty. And sometimes he gets on kicks where and I do too, where I don't want that pepper Nicaraguan in your face. I want something a little bit subtle, and it'd be a good stick for sure.
Well, it says it's rare selection from the Fuente family, and it will only be around for a short time, and you will have to wait another 100 years to get a chance to try the next one.
Really?
That's what it says. That's what I'm reading. I'm like,
what? What? Well, you can go online. You can get them because my final step for giving a rating is. I don't like to send Stogie Geeks listeners on a wild goose chase. I don't because I've had the opportunity to have some quote unquote unicorn sticks here, just from people shipping stuff, or people stop by the studio, or people stop by next door, and hey, this is coming out. What's the one off the top of my head? The latest one, not latest cigar, but the latest one, the Warzone.
The Warzone
was that Espinosa? Is that Espinosa?
Yeah, Espinosa.
Yeah, Espinosa Warzone. I was like, oh wow, this is really good, and I think it's gonna go somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Same thing with the Alec Bradley Project 40, right? When we introduced what was his name? Jonathan, right?
Yep.
John, right? And Lipson, last name, right?
Yeah.
So when we had an interview with him. And I was like, yeah, man, this is a really good, this is all pre-cigar aficionado thing. I'm like, this is really super cool. It's like, yeah, but we came out with this Magic Toast. I'm like, nah, what about Magic Toast? Let's talk about this Project 40. This is where it's at. What I mean? This is totally where it's at. And and it's funny because I was friends with him on LinkedIn, ironically, before I was friends with him on Facebook. And I even put, and I really do, cigar stuff on LinkedIn just because just most of the push in news is through either Facebook or Twitter. And I even put dude, I called it. On his LinkedIn. I sent the link, I was like, I totally called this one over here. And he's like, you're right. I was like, I don't want to talk to me about your Magic Toast. You know what I mean? There too. For sure. But I'll tell you what I've been getting into, speaking of that brand, is that Blind Faith by the Alec and Bradley, the kids.
Yes. The Blind Faith.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you have that?
I do.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
Nice stick. I've only smoked 2 of the 9 I have. So, So it's been a while. But when it first came out, Nomi gave me one, and then I got a stack of them at the Cigars and Cigars and Spirits show, and then I've only had a couple. But first take on that, it's a very solid smoke. I got to look at my notes. Like I said, I haven't smoked that in a minute, but it's a good cigar. What were your takes? I'm sorry. What do you want to share?
Yeah, no, Alec and Bradley are trying to what I think is fascinating is that if you're a consumer and you see Alec Bradley, and we've heard them for years now, off the top of my head, maybe 8-10 years, so it could be 15, right? Time flies, right? But
these are the boys, right?
These are the boys. But if it says Alec Bradley, it's Alan, the original owner, the father, right? But if it's Alec ampersand Alec and Bradley, it's
Yes.
kids, Alec and
Yes.
Bradley, right? And they're starting. Well, first of all, that stick is starting to go into that TPE rotation, and the show's coming up and all of that stuff there. But they're starting to get some buzz. And what I like about that stick is I try to put aside like the media buzz of what they're doing and where they're going, because that's marketing, right? But when I first was introduced to that stick, I remember exactly where I was. It was when I took a trip down in Florida, so it was in September, and we did the remote, right? And we did the remote, and I was at the Havana Republic Cigars over on Las Olas Boulevard in Fort Lauderdale, which is where I go and do the show every year that I go there. And I remember being captivated by the box presentation.
Yes.
Because the box presentation has a blind faith, it's got television, and it's got like the static. And then I was like, what's this stick all about? And then he's like, Alec Bradley put it out, just came out, blah, 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 came out after, it was around IPCPR. And I'm like, how's this selling? He's like, it's going pretty good. You know what I mean? It's got a good price point to it. It's going, but I had a couple, bought them, didn't have them, because in my mind, and this is when Jonathan corrected us on the interview, between the Alec and Bradley, in my mind, I bought some and just kept them, and I'm in South Florida, right? So Placencia, Espinosa, stuff I can't get here in the Northeast, and there's only so much time, and then I just had them. And then when I kind of circled back and around to them, I got back into them. I actually bought a box. I bought a box of them. I'm a fan of what they're going to come up with, and I think that TPE show will be good for them, and I think they're going to carve on their own path, and super excited that they are going to be on the show here in 2020 and tell us their story, and it's interesting when we have so we have a second generation, right? I know we have JC Newman and you have fourth generation and whatnot, but it's interesting, and I think that if the Alec and Bradley brand from them can really be different palette-wise than what Alec Bradley has historically come out with, I think that we're going to see some super cool stuff for them to watch. They were part of my top companies to watch, but we had limited it here for Stogie Geeks purposes. But definitely excited about what they're coming out with. And I've heard good rumor, that they're coming out with some more stuff here in 2022. So not 2022. Did I say
2020?
2020. That's where
2020. Yeah. So just let me make a correction, because I just got a blast right now from one of my buddies. He's like, dude, we have not smoked the Blind Faith yet. What you're thinking about is the Gatekeeper. So that's the one I was thinking about. The Gatekeeper. I have not had the Blind Faith. Mm-hmm. And I'm now looking at my cigar list, and he's like, dude, we haven't gone there yet.
You haven't had Blind Faith? Okay, cool. Tuesday, text me Blind Faith, and I will remember your box, and I will put some in there, and then do that, because they're here in the Northeast. The Northeast rep for Alec Bradley, who's also doing its stuff as well, the Alec and Bradley stuff. They're readily available here. They're kind of hitting hard just here now, so. And they were in South Florida hitting hard in September after the show, so it would make sense that they would be hit pretty hard here for sure. Because Alec Bradley does okay here. It does. It's on a lot of shelves. I don't know if it's down there.
It is in limited selection, but like Blind Faith, I've actually never seen this. The logo that you're talking about, the television. Mm-hmm. I haven't seen that one before around here. I've seen it around the internet, but I haven't seen it here. Gatekeeper. I was thinking of Blind Faith because of the band. God, think of that guy's name that's on there, but his eyes are closed, and I was just thinking that's what I was thinking about. So
what are you thinking about?
The Gatekeeper.
Caldwell?
The Caldwell?
No. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about the picture on the band on the Gatekeeper.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's why I was thinking Blind Faith, but then my buddy goes, no.
No. Gatekeeper.
Correct yourself.
Gatekeeper, Magic Toast, and Project 40 came out all around the same time, right?
Yes.
Here comes my email, right? Oh, right, came out all at the same time. It got exposed to me at the same time, okay? Right?
Yeah.
And so there, and the one that stuck out from Gatekeeper, where are we going? Gatekeeper, Magic
Yes.
Toast, Project 40. The one that stuck out for me was Project 40, right? And then
40, yes.
when I went back to Project 40, I'm like, they're really onto something here. Like it's and then it just catalyst with the Cigar Aficionado ratings and all of that stuff, and now they're going there. Our thoughts are organized. It just doesn't seem that way.
Yeah, and the Project 40 that I'm enjoying, and I have been enjoying, is the 4652.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you've got. I think you've had those or the one. The 60
at this point I've had all their offerings from there. Yeah, for the Project 40.
Yeah, but that's what I like. That Robusto, that 52 ring gauge.
Yep.
I definitely love that cigar. Just love the way that all the notes and flavors come through that, and just lingers in my numami.
I would buy a box of the Project 40s. The only super cool thing is they keep getting handed to me.
Yes.
So I was like, I'll get the Blind Faith. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah. So there you go. Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome.
All right.
Sounds good. Well, I just want to remember that we can keep the conversation going all week long. Stogie Geeks. You can go to stogiegeeks.com and you can email Drew at stogiegeeks.com or me, Joe H at stogiegeeks.com. Email all complaints to Drew at stogiegeeks.com. You can listen to the podcast anytime. Behind every cigar, I want to remind you that there's a story worth knowing. Get out there, shop local, meet some new friends, visit your local brick and mortar. And I want to wish you guys a Happy New Year. 2020.
Happy New Year.
Yes, absolutely. 2020 is going to be an awesome year here at Stogie Geeks. And looking forward to fascinating interviews and finding out what this industry is going to unfold its story as time continues and people go on. I just want to give a special thanks to J.C. Newman, Havana Cigar Club, Placencia Cigars, and McAuliffe Cigars for participating on the show. Stogie Geeks, we will see you next time. Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.